First thing, your value didn't drop just because somebody stopped recognizing it. A diamond in a dark room is still a diamond. If they forgot what they're holding, that's their eyesight, not your worth. The problem is, when you love somebody, you start discounting yourself like a clearance rack, little price cuts every week. It's fine. It's no big deal. I'll adjust. Before you know it, you're underpriced and overstressed. Today we're changing tags. No more discounts on your dignity. Let me give you a picture. Imagine your relationship as a house. Lately the roof's leaking, the paint's peeling, and the door sticks. You've been placing buckets and apologizing for the puddles. Put down the bucket, call for repair, set the budget, set the timeline. If the contractor shows up, tools in hand, ready to work, you can rebuild. If the contractor shows up with excuses and a playlist, take back the keys. Boundaries are the quiet architecture of respect, and if you want people, especially your partner, to treat you like you matter, you've got to build those walls with intention. Setting a boundary isn't about being cold or playing games. It's about teaching others the rules of engagement with your life. When you don't set limits, you leave the door open for people to take advantage, to assume your availability, and to downgrade your needs into optional suggestions. But when you stay the line and then keep it, everything changes. Your energy stays intact, your expectations become clear, and the other person either rises to meet you or shows you who they really are. Start by identifying what you will not tolerate anymore. Be specific. Vague statements like, "I want more." Don't move behavior because they're open to interpretation. Instead, name the exact pattern that's killing you. Canceled plans, disrespectful tones, emotional dumping with no reciprocity, and translate that into a rule. I will not accept last-minute cancellations more than once without notice. Or, I will not stay in a conversation where I'm being belittled. Say it once with calm authority, then follow through. Consequences must be real and proportional. Reschedule yourself instead of waiting, end the call, or step back for a set time. People learn faster from predictable outcomes than from passionate speeches. Boundaries are enforced with action, not anger. There's a difference between shouting and standing firm. If someone crosses your line and you respond with theatrics, you hand the emotional microphone back to chaos. If you respond with a simple, consistent consequence, no drama, no negotiation, you teach respect by example. That's the kind of strength that changes dynamics. It's also contagious when you protect your limits. Friends notice, family adjust, and even coworkers start to calibrate. Your life will begin to orbit around your values, not around other people's whims. Don't confuse boundaries with punishment. The goal isn't to make someone suffer. It's to create a healthy environment where both people can thrive. When you draw clear lines, you invite accountability and growth. If the other person cares, they'll respond by changing behavior, attending to your needs, and apologizing with repair, not just with words. If they don't change, the boundary reveals what you already needed to know. That revelation is a mercy. It saves you time, energy, and emotional investment that could be given to people who actually deserve it. Boundaries also protect your dignity. There is power in choosing how you let people treat you. The ones who love and respect you will honor your limits without drama. The ones who resent them were probably taking advantage of your availability all along. Finally, remember to apply boundaries to yourself as well. Hold yourself accountable to your standards. Show up for your promises, protect your time, and refuse to make excuses for staying in patterns that hurt you. When you respect your own rules, others find it easier to respect them too. Set the line, keep it calm, act consistently, and watch how respect follows. Self-worth is the foundation of every strong relationship. And when your partner stops valuing you, the first thing you've got to do is remind yourself who you are. Too often, people stay in relationships trying to earn the love and respect of someone who has already checked out mentally or emotionally. That's how you end up drained, second-guessing yourself, and carrying weight that was never yours to carry. But when you rediscover your worth, when you take time to pour into yourself, your whole posture changes. You stop begging for crumbs and start demanding the full meal. The truth is, nobody can love you better than you love yourself. If you walk around feeling like you're not enough, your partner will start believing that too. That's why the first step is to rebuild your confidence. Invest in the things that make you feel alive again. Maybe that's pursuing a hobby you dropped. Maybe it's getting your health back on track. Maybe it's surrounding yourself with friends who hype you up instead of drain you. These are not little side activities. They are reminders to your soul that you're valuable with or without anybody's approval. When you carry yourself with confidence, it communicates something powerful. I am not desperate for your attention. I bring value to this table, and if you can't see it, someone else will. That shift in energy alone can shake the entire relationship dynamic. People tend to notice when the person they've been taking for granted suddenly reclaims their shine. Sometimes they wake up and realize what they're about to lose. Other times they don't change, and that's when your self-worth will give you the strength to walk away with dignity instead of staying stuck in cycles of pain. Loving yourself is also about setting the standard for how others treat you. If you constantly excuse bad behavior, you send the message that your feelings are negotiable. But when you honor yourself enough to say, I deserve kindness, I deserve consistency, I deserve respect, you create an environment where love can either rise to meet those standards or reveal its absence. Either way, you win, because your value no longer hangs on someone else's opinion. It's rooted in the truth that you're worthy just as you are. Think about it, the times in your life when you were the most magnetic, the most attractive, were not when you were chasing someone's validation, but when you were locked into your own purpose, smiling because you knew your worth. That's the version of you that can't be ignored. And if your partner doesn't see it, that's their loss, not yours. Self-worth is not arrogance. It's not selfishness. It's simply the decision to stop begging for a love you can already give yourself. When you hold your head high and value yourself, you don't just take your power back, you make it impossible for anyone to dim your light again. Communication is the oxygen of any relationship, and when it's gone, everything else starts suffocating. If your partner stops valuing you, one of the strongest moves you can make is to open your mouth and speak your truth. Too many people stay silent because they're afraid of rocking the boat. But silence doesn't fix what's broken. It just lets the cracks get bigger. If you don't say what you need, you can't expect your partner to guess it. Respect comes when you're bold enough to say, this is how I feel, and this is what I need. Now, I'm not talking about yelling, blaming, or throwing accusations. That kind of talk shuts people down. I'm talking about clear, calm, and honest communication. You've got to sit across from your partner and be willing to say, look, I don't feel valued right now. I feel ignored, I feel dismissed, and I need us to work on this. That's not weakness, that's strength. It takes courage to be vulnerable and direct, and it shows you're serious about building something real. See, communication isn't just about expressing frustration. It's about creating a space where solutions can be born. Maybe your partner doesn't even realize how their actions are coming across. Sometimes people get comfortable, distracted, or caught up in life, and they start taking the person next to them for granted. A conversation can be the wake-up call that says, hey, I'm not invisible, and if this relationship matters, we need to fix this together. But here's the thing, you've got to also be willing to listen. Communication is a two-way street. It's not just about talking, it's about understanding. Maybe your partner has their own struggles they haven't expressed, and those struggles are bleeding into the relationship. If both of you are willing to put honesty on the table, you can find middle ground and rebuild the respect that's been slipping away. On the other hand, if you communicate clearly and nothing changes, if your words fall on deaf ears and your needs keep being dismissed, that silence tells you something too. It tells you where you stand in their priorities. And that's valuable information because it gives you the power to decide whether you want to keep investing in someone who doesn't value your presence. The point is this, you can't reclaim your power in a relationship if you're too afraid to use your voice. Closed mouths don't get fed, and unspoken needs don't get met. Respect grows where communication flows. And if your partner can't meet you halfway in conversation, chances are they won't meet you halfway in the relationship either. Your words matter, your feelings matter, and your willingness to speak up might be the very thing that shifts everything, or the thing that frees you to walk away knowing you gave it your all. Either way, you win when you refuse to stay silent about your worth. One of the most powerful ways to take your power back is to stop chasing someone who stopped showing up for you. Too many people fall into the trap of overcompensating when they feel unvalued. They give more, they try harder, they bend over backward hoping their partner will notice their worth again. But let me tell you, chasing validation from someone who's ignoring you only lowers your value further. When you chase, you put yourself in the passenger seat of your own life, handing them the wheel while you're the one doing all the work. Respect is never built on desperation. It's built on confidence. Here's the truth: when someone stops valuing you, your instinct might be to fight harder for their attention, but that's not how you regain respect. Respect is earned when you show you're strong enough to step back. You don't have to argue. You don't have to beg. You don't have to prove yourself. Instead, you pull your energy back and you invest it into yourself. When you stop running after them, it forces them to recognize what they're losing. People always notice absence louder than presence. Think about it. When you're always available, always pouring into someone, they get used to it. They start taking it for granted. But the moment you shift your energy, focus on your goals, your health, your joy, suddenly the dynamic changes. They either realize they've been blind to your value, or they show you clearly that they don't care to fix it. Either way, you've protected your dignity. Walking away from chasing doesn't mean walking away from the relationship immediately. It means walking away from begging for basic respect. It's saying, I know my worth, and if you can't see it, I won't force it. That kind of strength commands attention. A man or woman who knows their value doesn't have to scream it. They show it through their boundaries and their silence. And here's the key: when you stop chasing, you shift the power dynamic. You remind yourself and your partner that your happiness isn't dependent on whether or not they validate you. You're not waiting for their approval to shine. You're already whole, already worthy, already valuable. If they want to be a part of that, they need to step up and meet you where you are. The minute you stop chasing, you stop bleeding energy into something that's not feeding you back. You give yourself the freedom to either heal the relationship from a position of strength or move on, knowing you never begged for what should have been freely given. That's how you reclaim your power, not by running after love, but by standing tall in your worth until the right love runs to you. The walking away is not failure. Sometimes it's the fiercest act of self-respect you can perform, and it changes everything about how you carry yourself after. Too many people think leaving is dramatic or mean. They see it as the last resort and treat it like defeat. Let me tell you straight, staying in a place where you are undervalued until you are numb is the real defeat. Walking away when someone repeatedly shows you your place is optional is you finally cashing in on your dignity. It's you saying, I tried, I communicated, I made space for repair, I held my boundaries, you chose comfort over change, now I choose me. That's not petty, that's practical. When you step away, do it like a leader, not a lunatic. Don't explode on social media, don't rage post or use the exit as a revenge tour. Exit cleanly with documents, with timelines, with support. Close accounts, collect what is yours, and build a simple checklist so you aren't dependent on feelings to get practical work done. The goal is to leave with your dignity intact and your future open. People will gossip, let them. Your job is to remain steady. Drama gets headlines, not respect. Walking away also gives you clarity. When you're in the middle of pain, your vision is fogged. You start bargaining with standards you promised yourself you wouldn't lower. Distance creates perspective. It lets you see the patterns clearly, the excuses, the promises, the half-efforts. From that clean distance, you can decide, is this a person who will do the work, or someone who wants access to the comfort you offered without the commitment it takes to maintain it? If it's the latter, your leaving saves you years of slowly eroding faith in yourself. But don't confuse walking away with running. Walking away with power is methodical. You create a support net, friends who will hold you, a financial plan that gives you runway, therapy, or a mentor who helps you process. You don't walk away into a void. You step into preparation. That is why the strongest exits look calm, because they're built on strategy, not panic. You choose the time, the words, and the follow through that keeps your life moving forward. There's also a mercy in walking away. It's mercy for you and for them. Staying out of guilt or habit only teaches both of you to settle for less. Leaving gives space for real growth. Sometimes for them to see what they lost. Sometimes for you to meet someone who respects you from the start. If your exit triggers change in them, that's a happy bonus. If it doesn't, you've saved your heart from slow decay. Finally, remember, walking away is not forever sentenced to loneliness. It's an invitation to rediscover joy. Use that season to rebuild your rituals, sleep, exercise, friends, purpose. Reinvest in things that remind you that you're whole with or without a partner. Take small wins, a gym class attended, A new hobby tried, a phone call with a friend that restores laughter. Over time, those small victories knit into a life you love, one that won't tolerate being undervalued. So when the pattern repeats, don't martyr yourself. Don't convince yourself that loyalty means staying until you're erased. Loyalty to someone else is not more important than loyalty to your soul. Walk away when your peace is the price and you're the one paying it. Walk away with grace, plan, and love for yourself. Then stand tall and watch how the world adjusts to the person who will not be small for anyone. That's power. So hear me, your worth didn't disappear because someone else got comfortable taking it. You taught them how to treat you, and today you're re-teaching the room. Set the standard, speak the rules, and hold the line. Protect your time, protect your heart, and protect your peace. Love well, yes, but love yourself better. If they step up, build together. If they don't, walk away with your dignity, your goals, and your head held high. This is your life, not their rehearsal. Don't waste another minute begging for a seat at a table that won't honor you. Choose yourself, act with calm authority, and let the world learn how to treat you. When you do that, power comes back to you, and nothing, nobody can take it away. Now go stand tall and live like you mean it.